Saturday morning, field of Farthings. Let's go and find some history. Yes! Well, I wasn't going to concentrate on coins today so much as artefacts. But, when something comes out the ground in that condition, 1896 Victorian silver shilling. That is absolutely stunning. First proper find of the day, first coin of the day, and I could go home now. I'm happy with that. That is absolutely gorgeous. There you go. That is not a bad start to the day. That is absolutely lovely. Happy, happy, happy. Like I said, I'm not concentrating on coins today, just artefacts. Well, I'm sorry, but when stuff comes out in that condition, 1942, threepenny bit. There's his Madge. Hello, sir. Look at that. I mean, that's been in the ground 80 odd years. What a wonderful thing. Isn't that nice? Been a while since I found one of them. There we go, 1942, threepenny bit. Blinding. Patina. It's a young George. Hello, sir. Another one of his. I think that's a halfpenny, looking at the size of it. Can't quite make out the date. 19. Oh, that's a 19. They're very special, they are. So there we go, a 19 halfpenny. Happy days. Mystery artefact. We have mystery artefact. Doesn't seem to be much of a pattern on it. I don't think that's a purpose bend. I think that's a bend that's been done in the ground. 2 loops on the back. So it's obviously mounted on something. That doesn't look as though that's snapped. That looks as though that's finished, as does that. So whatever it is, I believe that is it in its entirety. We'll have a clean up at the ranch, because I have no idea what on earth that is. Somebody will know. One of the brain boxes online will know. Interesting. Is there a face on it or anything? Oh, I don't know. We'll have a look when we get back to the ranch. Another little coin, farthing size. It's quite battered, that one by the looks of it. That one might be quite old. It will clean up. There's an identifying marker of 2 underneath all of that crud, and we will get to it back at the ranch. Another coin. I wasn't coming out for coins today. Here's Britannia there. Look, you can just about see Britannia. Hello, my lady. Can you make out a date? No, I can't. Wasn't coming out for coins today, but there you go. Coin number 4. As you can see, I'm right near public right away. There's a stream the other side, and then that goes right off into the distance, right the way through this orchard. And so I've been stopped every 10 minutes asking me, have I ever seen the detectorists? What's my best find? Even some old ladies asked if I gave talks. Politely declined. Ringing at 70 on the simplex. Little threepence. Not ancient. I think they're about 30% silver by this time, if that. We're doing alright. That's in lovely condition considering it's been in the ground for 80 odd years. There we go. Hello, sir. We're not doing too bad today, are we? All we need now is one of them hammered ones. Hey! Watch your gang, we're back at the ranch. We're going to have a quick run through some of the things that we've found this weekend. We've got that unusual buckle or mount. Still investigating that. There's no identification marks on it that I can see. So that still remains a mystery. We've got two fancy buttons, a flower and whatever that may be. I think it was probably a button once upon a time. There it is. We get one every week, the obligatory ring, brass ring, from a harness or from some form of ploughing get-up machinery, if you like. 2 bag seals, nothing written on them, quite plain. But they're always nice to get, aren't they? There might be something written on that one. Haven't investigated those, they're just bag seals. We've got pots and pots of them. These are becoming a bit boring now. There you go, it's the old Royal Artillery 1790 to 1802 badge. I think they were obviously based in that field at some point. We've got a halfpenny 1916. Not a great deal on it, but he's there. 1916. Nice threepenny bit. 1942. Not cleaned, that's just how it came out. Hello, sir. One of the stars of the show, 100% silver. I didn't think it was, but it is. 1919 threepenny bit. It's a lovely coin. Tiny, tiny little thing. Pure silver. Not pure, well, 925 silver. Uncleaned. Just a bit of washing. It's nice, isn't it? Look at the detail they put on those there. That 1919 threepenny bit. And I loved this. That was the first coin out of the day. It's called a widow's head. She was in mourning for her Albert. Solid silver, or 925 silver. 1 shilling. 1896. Queen Victoria. Isn't that nice? Look at the detail they put on that. That's the Commonwealth on there, I think that signifies. So that's those, which leaves us just to have a little chat about this. Because if you can just make out that shadow, I don't scrub these coins too hard because you're going to ruin them. It's been in the ground 200 years. You can just see Britannia on that side, and you can just see King George the Fourth on there. So let's have a little bit of a chat about him, shall we? Right, so let's have a quick chat about King George the Fourth. We can just about make him out on this coin. This camera's not good enough to show it, but he is on there. You can just see it goes to it. This is 1826, I believe this coin is. It's a farthing. Now, can we get anything on that? Right. When he was Prince Regent for a while because his dad was King George III, who had the mental health issues, which we've spoken about before. Not a laughing matter. Now, when King George, George IV, was Prince Regent, and when he was 21, by his underhand kind of methods and pulling a few strings and general shenanigans, he managed to obtain a grant from Parliament for £60,000 a year, which is over £7 million in today's money. This is for a regent, Prince Regent. He was only a prince. On top of that, he obtained a £50,000 grant from his dad a year, so that's over 6 million. So that's over 13 million a year he had coming in. This is in 1783. 13 million pounds a year, and it wasn't enough. He couldn't live on it. His stabling costs, just to keep his old nags, was over £31,000 a year, to give you some indication. Long story short, he liked his money, he liked to party, he liked his grub. In 1795, by the time he was officially kinged up and all of that business, he got himself into £630,000 worth of debt, which in today's cash is around, UK cash is around 65 million. And again, the government thought, well, we can't really have our king, being like that, so they bailed him out. Taxpayers bailed him out. Here, I have 65 million.
By the time he passed in 1830. It's quite gross. It's quite gross. About an hour before he died, he had an enormous poo. It was all full of claret and everything else. It really wasn't nice, and he kind of went oh, it's all horrible, and died on his deathbed. He had a 50-inch waist by the time he died, and it's documented that not long before he died, he sat down with the Duke of Wellington and he had his normal breakfast. Now I'm kind of reading this out as I go. Now this is not Wellington. This is George IV, 50-inch waist. This is the King's breakfast, just his breakfast. About 2 years before he died, he had one whole pigeon pie, one whole beefsteak pie, 3/4 of a bottle of Moselle, which is a white wine, a quite strong white wine back in the day, a glass of dry champagne, 2 glasses of port, and 1 brandy. And then he topped it all up with a very, very large dose of laudanum, which is it's a morphine tincture which they used to suspend in alcohol. So it was alcohol and morphine mixed in a little bottle. By the time he died, he was doing, because he was so full of gout and everything else, he could only move one arm, he could only move one leg. He was a bit of a heifer, and he was in a bit of a state by the time he died. And he was on up to 100 drops of laudanum a day. And that's the king. How on earth do we get anything done? I mean, how on earth do we get anything done? So that's the royal family for you. I mean, every time I sit down and say one of these stories, it's the mind boggles. And there you go. You can be in £65 million worth of debt, and the government will just bail you out. Just bail you out. Fantastic. Right, I'm going to go. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers for watching. I'll see you.
Just found this in the bottom of my find bag. Just come up today. It's nice, isn't it? Snapped off that side. I'm going to try and straighten that out. What do you reckon? Is that Welsh? Some writing on there. Let's see if we can decipher that.